I bring you greetings, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Here in Nigeria, is good name. Bring you greetings from my Vice Chancellor, Professor Olufemi Peters, and from all staff and students of our National Open University of Nigeria. The topic of this presentation is language and migration, the place of communicative competence in English. For purposes of this presentation, I will skip a number of things, not because they are not important, but because we are very familiar with them, so we can concentrate on the key because of time. Communicative competence is the ability to use language correctly and appropriately to accomplish communicative goals. The English language is the key. What we mean, we know all about English, the language of England, widely used in many different varieties throughout the world. We have chosen English of all the languages in the world because it is a world language. It is crucial for migration purposes. In Nigeria, for instance, we have three major languages: the Igbo language, the Hausa language, the Yoruba language. We refer to our native language as the mother tongue. Usually, our mother tongue is the language in which we have gained reasonable competence before we begin to learn the English, the second language, in this case, the English language. The native languages in Nigeria are easy to learn, not as difficult as the English language. The English word house, for instance, is known as Olo in the Igbo language. It is called Gida in the Hausa language, and it is called Ile in the Yoruba language. In each of these languages, the word is spelled as it is pronounced, and it is pronounced as it is spelled. So knowledge of the pronunciation is a good guide to the spelling. If you know the spelling, you will have a good guide to the pronunciation. But that is not the same for the English language. In the English language, words are not usually pronounced as they are spelled, and they are not spelled as they are pronounced. These are examples of words of the English language. The first one we have here is one, O-N-E, one. Look at the pronunciation. It's far away from the spelling. E-W-E. Pronunciation is U. It is a homophone with Y-O-U. C-H-O-I-R, choir. Far away from the spelling, is away from the pronunciation. And so you can see the spelling of a word here in English is not a guide to its pronunciation. Another word we have is luxury. Luxury. Look at the spelling. Look at the pronunciation. Vehicle, student, canal, queue. One wonders what these letters are doing in the word queue, because the single letter Q could have simply done the bit of the pronunciation. But we have all of these letters in the spelling, and the pronunciation is Q, just like the letter Q. You can see that there are too many inconsistencies in the English language. When you think you have known spelling, you think you'll be able to pronounce from there, you'll be making a mistake. one of my students observed the inconsistencies in the English language and made a poem for Mr. English. He said, "The English language, what kind of man are you?" He told me to put an S for a noun and I will make it plural. And I put an S to man, you said I am wrong. He told me that if I put ed to a verb, I will make it past tense. And I put ed to go, you said I am wrong. I put ed to come, and you said I am wrong. The English language, what kind of man are you? And now you can see, the plural of a box is boxes, but the plural of ox is oxen, not oxes. One fowl is a goose, but two are called geese. Yet, the plural of moon should never be missed. The plural of mouse is mice, but the plural of house is houses, not hives. If the plural of man is always called men, why shouldn't the plural of pan be called pen? If one is a tooth and the whole set are teeth, why shouldn't the plural of both be called beak? We speak of brother and also brethren, but though we say mother, we never say mother. Then the masculine pronouns are he, his, and him. The feminine are she, she's, and she. Now let me ask us, if past tense of take is took, what is the past tense of make? Under normal circumstances, it should be moved, but that's not it. There is no logic in English. Yes, I want to emphasize here that communication is understanding a key thing in communication. This means that in the absence of understanding, communication makes little or no meaning. Communication without understanding is synonymous with winking at a girl in the dark, and you know already with me that nothing will happen. I don't think we need this joke. Yes, challenges of migration and language. I want to share Emeka's experience with us. Emeka is my good friend. He left Nigeria in 2001 to the United Kingdom. When he got there, among the problems he had, many of them had to do with language-related issues. He was battling with his understanding of language matters. In one of the conferences he attended in the United Kingdom, he met this young lady, and they exchanged pleasantries. That was on the opening ceremony. The following day, Emeka came, met this lady during the breakfast time, and Emeka greeted, "Good morning, Miriam, how was your night?" Innocent. Miriam could not respond. She ignored that. Then Emeka did not understand why Miriam had no response to his question. While they were taking their breakfast and taking their cups of coffee, Emeka repeated the same question to Miriam. "Miriam, I've asked you, how was your night?" This time Miriam was angry about the question, but didn't say anything. While they got seated, taking their breakfast, Emeka still did not understand why Miriam did not respond. Now looked at Miriam eyeball to eyeball and asked the same question. "How was your night, Miriam? I hope everything is okay." This time Miriam could not take that anymore. So she took the the cup of her tea and emptied that on Emeka's head. That was a big embarrassment at the ceremony, and many people gathered. Eventually, the two were dismissed. Why? Because Emeka did not understand the meaning of how was your night. The question he repeatedly asked innocently put him into trouble. In the English language, how was your night means how was your last night sex? Let us see the words of Confucius. He said, if the language is not correct, then what is said is not what is meant. If what is said is not what is meant, then what ought to be done remains undone. If this remains done, morals and art deteriorate. If morals and art deteriorate, justice goes astray. If justice goes astray, the people will stand about in helpless confusion. Hence, there must be no arbitrariness in what is said. This matters precisely. Points of emphasis. Avoidable errors. There are many errors we commit in the English language which we can avoid. Here we refer to them as common errors. The emphasis is in common errors we hear every day or we read from papers in Nigeria. So this is the Nigerian perspective. Before we move on, I want to establish the difference between errors and mistakes. They are not the same thing, even though both of them are talking about deviation from acceptable norms of a language. An error is committed as a result of ignorance. You do not know. That means if you have the knowledge of the grammatical rules of the language, you can commit errors in that language. Mistakes could be as a result of the slip of the tongue when we are talking, or the slip of the pen when we are writing. Mistakes could be as a result of memory lapses, fatigue, or strong emotion. Everyone is prone to mistakes. You can even make mistakes in your own native language, but you can hardly commit an error in your native language because you have mastery of it. And so, if you make a mistake, for instance, and your attention is drawn to it, you can easily correct it. But that is not so with errors. If you commit an error and your attention is drawn to that, you will not understand that there's anything wrong about it unless you are told. There are a number of errors we are going to give attention to. The first of them is, he is not our staff. He is our staff. You hear this often from members of staff of different institutions. I am his. They are all grammatical blunders. The right thing to say is, he is a member of our staff. He is not a member of our staff, or he is not one of our staff. The reason is that staff is a collective noun, meaning the totality of people working in an organization. That means that one person cannot be staff. Number two, an European teaches English in my university. The rule of grammar has it that when a word is begun with a consonant sound, it is the A version of the indefinite article that will precede it, as we have in a book, a pen, a door. But if a word is begun with a vowel sound, it is an that will precede it. An orange, an apple. Here, word is European. This is the problem with European. The first sound is consonant, so it should be preceded by the A version of the indefinite article, so that the right thing to say would be, a European teaches English in my university. Number 3, all troubleshooters and dupes must be punished for their evil deeds. The speaker of this sentence does not understand the meaning of the word troubleshooter and does not understand the meaning of the word dupe. A troubleshooter is a peacemaker. He has not committed any crime. A dupe is someone who has been cheated or deceived or tricked. He too has not committed any crime. The person who duped him or who tricked him or who cheated him is known as a trickster or a cheat. The right thing to say in this sense should be, all troublemakers or tricksters must be punished for their evil deeds. There is a wakekeeping in Chief Udo's house tonight. This is another grammatical blunder. Wakekeeping is on English. Sometimes people think that wakekeep is the right one, but that is not true. The right word in that expression should be wake. Therefore, we should simply say, there is a wake in Chief Udo's house tonight. I have gone to him severally, but did not see him. Many times, people use the word severally to mean many times. That is not right. Severally means separately. Sometimes you also hear people say, I have several issues, using several to mean many. Several does not mean many. Several means 2 or 3, but not many. Severally means separately. It has nothing to do with many. The right thing to say should be, I have gone to him many times, but did not see him. Avoid the use of several or severally when you mean many. The only agenda for this meeting is examination malpractice. The problem with this sentence is the use of agendum in English. Agendum and agenda are both Latin words, meaning singular and plural, respectively. The English language borrowed agenda and left agendum. In English, agenda stands for both singular and plural. The right thing to say should be the only item on the agenda. That's when you want to be specific. You can use item to make it singular. The only item on the agenda for this meeting is examination malpractice. There's also nothing wrong by saying the only agenda for this meeting is examination malpractice, because in English, agenda stands for singular, it also stands for plural. You should sign your signature here. This is another grammatical blunder, because what we sign is name. Sign your name here, or you append your signature. Avoid the use of sign your signature because it is un-English. Chief Commissioner for Women Affairs. This sentence is erroneous because we have a glaring omission of the apostrophe S after women. That apostrophe is mandatory. You must not omit it. The right thing to say should be, she is the Commissioner for Women's Affairs. Here in Abuja, when you are passing through the Ministry of Women's Affairs, what you will see is Ministry of Women Affairs with the omission of that mandatory apostrophe. We must not imitate that. Dr. Mrs. Amina Abubakar is a vivacious woman. The problem with this sentence is the use of Mrs. after we have used a title doctor. Mrs. is a title we use for a married woman who has no other title. The moment this woman gets a title, we stop using Mrs. for her. What Mrs. is to a woman is what Mr. is for a man. Mr. is a title we use for a man who has no other title. The moment this man gets the title, we stop using Mr. for him. While we understand the usage for Mr., many Nigerians do not understand the usage of Mrs. And that's why many times you see this kind of writing, and you can even hear them say, Dr. Mrs. That is wrong. What to say in this sentence is Dr. Amina Abubakar is a vivacious woman. It is also important to emphasize here that we should avoid the use of more than one title when we address one person. You can never hear that from the lips of native speakers of English. But because Nigerians are fond of titles, we usually will pack one title for one person. Sometimes you see Chief Professor Miss, Chief Doctor Lady. These are grammatical blunders. We must not imitate them. Use one title in a given situation. Use academic title in academic situation and cultural titles in cultural situations. Good morning, madam, to a woman known to you. Madam has three different meanings. The first meaning of madam is a polite way of addressing a woman whose name you do not know. That means that the moment you know the name of this woman, it ceases to be madam to you. When you do not know the name, use madam. And madam can be used for a woman, whether she is married or not married, provided you do not know the name. The right thing to say is, good morning, Mrs. Okoro, or Dr. Okoro, or Professor Okoro, as the case may be. Sometimes you hear children in a family answering their mother, Ma. Ma is a short form of madam. What madam is to a woman is what sir is for a man. Formal. Except in a situation where you have decided to maintain a formal relationship with someone, you do not want any closeness. Let him be there, I will be here. That is the instance where you begin to refer to him as sir. You don't want any close relationship. Madam, you don't want any close relationship. But where you want to establish some rapport, use the name of the person. It doesn't mean disrespect. It means you have a cordial relationship with the person. Avoidable error number 11, the way and manner in which they reported the matter shocked me. This is a problem of tautology. Way means the same thing as manner. Do not use the same in one sentence. The right thing to say is, the way in which they reported the matter shocked me, or the manner in which they reported the matter shocked me. We rounded up the lecture at 2 p.m. When you use round up, it means gathering together to arrest. But that is not what this speaker is talking about. There is no arrest in his intention. What he wants to say is we rounded off, meaning that we ended the lecture at 2 p.m. The right thing to say is we rounded up the lecture at 2 p.m. Use round up when you want to talk about arresting. These are common errors we also have in Nigerian context. Lectures will hold in the evening. The meeting will hold on Monday. A service of thanksgiving and praise holds at Kana House. Lectures do not hold anything. Meeting does not hold anything. The service of thanksgiving doesn't hold anything. The right thing we use in English is will be held. We are the people who will hold the meeting. We will hold the lecture, not the meeting holding. Or you can also say the meeting will take place. Avoid the use of meeting will hold, lecture will hold. The right thing to say would be lectures will be held in the evening. The meeting will be held on Monday. A service of thanksgiving and praise takes place at Kana House. The lecture will take place in the evening. The meeting will take place on Monday. Not will hold. Avoidable error number 14. I will visit you on Upper Monday. Sometimes you hear Nigerians use Upper Monday, Upper Tuesday, Upper Sunday. These are wrong expressions in the English language. Avoid such usage. The right thing to say would be, I will visit you on Monday week. Do not say next week Monday as well. Next week Monday is a blunder in English. Use Monday week or next Monday, next Sunday, next Saturday, not Upper Monday, not next week Monday. The Kappa is from Kano State. There is no word as Kappa in English. Here we use Kappa to refer to a member of the NYSC. When that is the meaning, the right thing to say should be the Kappa is from Kano State, not Kappa. Or a member of the NYSC is from Kano State. Don't mind them. With time, they will face the music. I had this one this afternoon, so I included it. What we say in good English is not with time. The right thing is in time. Don't mind them. In time, they will face the music. For better, for worse. Sometime during wedding, that's the time you hear this kind of expression. For better, for worse. That is bad English. What we say in good English is for better or worse. The word or is mandatory in the expression. For is optional. The right thing to say it is for better or worse, or for better or for worse. Don't say for better, for worse. I will travel next tomorrow. Next tomorrow is on English. What we say in good English is, I will travel the day after tomorrow. You can say next week, next Monday, next year, but not next tomorrow. My fiancé told me he would come by 9 p.m. I was surprised to see him at 8:45. Many times people use by to mean a definite time expression, but that is wrong. By means any time up to, but not later than. The correct expression is, my fiancé told me he would come at 9 p.m. I was surprised to see him at 8:45. Ladies and gentlemen, I have come to the end of my speech. Sometimes people think that when you have one lady in a gathering, you refer to them all as, you refer to the lady as lady, or you greet with lady and gentlemen. But that is not true. Ladies and gentlemen is a fixed expression. It is constant. You must not change ladies to lady. The right thing to say is, ladies and gentlemen, I have come to the end of my speech. How do you do to someone
Prof,
who is familiar to you? Just a minute. Okay, thank you. I will get to the conclusion. But remember, we use how do you do when you are meeting a person for the first time. I want to conclude by saying that your grammar is a reflection of your image. Good or bad, you have made an impression. And like all impressions, you are in total control. That's the words of Jeffrey Hinton. Permit me also to add here that in a world language such as English, intelligibility and comprehensibility are worth any price. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Joy Eyisi. I'm not saying Professor Mrs. Joy Eyisi. Thank you very much, man. We really appreciate you. I will, at this point, would like to welcome. He actually joined us when you started talking, so we couldn't. But before we entertain one or two comments, and of course he will make a comment, I would like to introduce the AVP for International Affairs, a professor of electrical electronics engineering. Dr. Ogp-Africa is with us. He's our boss, and he has given us this platform to flower to be able to do this. We thank you so much, sir. We will be asked to unmute and say a few words, but before you do, I could see two hands up. I believe that is a proper English, but if not, remember I studied history and I'm still learning. I have Baramosi will go after Professor Astake speaks, and then Adura Agbenro will go, just like 30 seconds. Also important for all of us to note, and we want to sincerely appreciate Dr. Alada and the AD4 TV and radio. We are actually not just being recorded to cloud, we are also on live TV in Abuja. The AD4 TV radio is that innovative center of communication that if you're searching for paradigm shift, you will see a lot of video recording both in the local and in the global context. So we appreciate, and once we see Dr. Alada here, I also know that he's representing Professor Bogoro. So we thank you, sir, for joining us, and that you joined. In fact, you came in before me. It's been around since past 9 our time here. That'll be past 3 Nigeria. We appreciate you, AD4 TV radio, and we look forward to seeing a clean-up, video of this event. Thank you, sir. So I yield the virtual floor to the Assistant Vice President for International Affairs, Professor Ogp-Africa. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, so Dr. Tijani, thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon to all of us, our colleagues from Nigeria. It is good morning to our colleagues who are currently in the US. It's really a pleasure to be working with Dr. Tijani. And of course, I had the pleasure of seeing and meeting a lot of the TED Fund students on campus. On Monday, we had an amazing time. This week, we are celebrating International Education Week. And this is really where we get the chance to share how important international students are to our society, especially in the US. I was once myself an international student. I came in 1988 to get my engineering education at Morgan. So we really appreciate this conversation you guys are having. This session, I joined maybe 5 minutes after 10, but I really truly enjoyed the presentation. And I can tell to the profs that I made half of the mistakes that you have put on those slides. When I was a student, going from my bachelor's to my master's to my doctorate, and even now, I see some of the things that you have put in there. I texted Professor Tijani, I said, this PowerPoint should be shared with all our international students, because it doesn't matter how long we live in the US, we always struggle making sure that we have the right grammar, because pronunciation is something you cannot fix, but grammar you can fix with education. So I really appreciate the prof. I'm really looking forward to getting that copy of those slides. I told Dr. Tijani we have so many international students who will be very thankful to see this type of lecture. You might have given them 4 years worth of lecture on how to do proper English in your 20, 30 minutes of your presentation. So I appreciate it. That's why we're having these sessions of International Education Week where we learn from each other. And I'm very happy that now a colleague from Nigeria is teaching me so many great things about how to do proper grammar, proper etiquette, and all those things. So I really appreciate it. Dr. Tijani, this is an amazing session, more than 120 attendees. So right now you have the record, Dr. Tijani. We had an international symposium on Monday where we had colleagues from 30 different countries who joined us. That's the kickoff meeting on Monday morning. That session was attended by 115 participants. So right now, this number is still growing, Dr. Tijani. When I joined, it was 115, now it's 122. It keeps growing. So you will be known for having the record participants. I really appreciate it. And I'm also thankful that we have partners in Nigeria who are, broadcasting it on TV. And so I'm looking forward to getting the video. Next week, we will be doing the press release, and this will be shared with all our colleagues in Nigeria that we really appreciate the participation of the TED Fund scholars, the TED Fund postdocs, the PhD students, and of course TED Fund and other universities that are working with us. So I want to say thank you, Dr. Tijani, for putting together an amazing session. I see the numbers going up, 130, it keeps going up, amazing. And I want to tell to our colleagues in Nigeria, it's always a pleasure to work with all of you. And until we see each other in person, we're going to continue these virtual exchanges. But we learn so much from each other, and I'm glad we have this platform now. So I'm going to keep listening in to your conversation while I do my other work. So thank you, Dr. Tijani, but it's a pleasure to be participating in this session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving us the opportunity to flower. The provost also sent me a text that he is in a meeting, and he said if we are still on by 11, when he's finishing, he will join us. That is our leadership. We celebrated you, Dr. Astake, before you joined as part of the introduction, because if you did not give myself and Siram, Marisa, that opportunity to flower, to really bring on board our initiatives, there's no way we can do this. We really thank you. We thank you, sir. At this point, Mr. Badamosi, please, for 10-20 seconds on your majestic chair. And then Adegbenro, if you can share your face. If you don't have NEPA, is okay. You go next. While you can just go ahead and unmute yourself and speak. Thank you. I think those are the two that we have.
He's still muted.
Oh, he's still muted. Can you?
Hello.
Unmute? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. My question for the presenter is: I need more clarification on that statement, ladies and gentlemen. In case of necessity, if you are having a gathering to address where you have one woman, I need more clarification. Is it lady
Okay.
and gentlemen or ladies and gentlemen? I need more clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. Adegbenro, go ahead. Whoever is ITEL S15, kindly, give us a proper name. Thank you. Adegbenro, go ahead, followed by Fakpomenda. Thank you. And let's see your face also. Go ahead. 1:36 this hour. Wow. Adegbenro.
Good afternoon. Adura Agbenro, yes, sir.
Adura
Good
Agbenro.
evening. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for all the effort. Thank you, Prof, for the lecture. I was trying to fill my visa form this afternoon. The question on who is responsible, sponsorship, I put third point, relationship, I put my country's lambda, but I realized that it was the apostrophe and the S that was not desirable there. So I have to now remove the apostrophe to leave it as my country something. But that is not correct English. But that is what that field wanted. I just wanted a clarification on that because the form would not just continue until I remove that apostrophe there. Thank you. And thank you. We really appreciate you guys because you make so many of these mistakes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Adura Agbenro. I think she's a medical doctor. Temi Dayo Fagbon.
Yes, sir, you're right, sir.
And Maria, kindly please mute yourself. We're trying to mute you. Not mute. There's a lot of noise from your end.
Thank you, Professor. I just have two questions for the professor, sir. One, on the use of title. In Nigeria, we are title conscious. That when you have to use Professor Mrs., is it right to put the Mrs. in brackets when writing? Then number two, can we say I appreciate or I appreciate you? These are the two questions I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Someone, please, if you are in a prayer meeting, please, I don't have, I'll just put you, I'll just remove you. Do we have more answers? Professor Isi, you can proceed. Because right after this, we will start a roundtable for discussion about the local and global consciousness for another 30 minutes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I quickly will respond to the questions. The first one I have here says, when precisely do we use ladies and gentlemen? My response is, ladies and gentlemen is a fixed expression. Under no circumstances must you say lady and gentleman, whether we have one lady or 1,000 ladies in the gathering. It is as fixed as an idiom. Idiomatic expressions are fixed. That is why when we say more power to your elbow is the idiom. But sometimes here in Nigeria, you see people changing power to grease. And so you hear them saying, more grease to your elbow. That is wrong. Idioms are fixed expressions. Under no circumstances must you change a word of idiom. That is the same as ladies and gentlemen. Apostrophe S is mandatory in situations where it must be, like in my country's people, my country's image, and the example we gave before. Sometimes there may be limited number of words they may require in a document, and to get that minimum, they may decide to reduce some things, but that does not mean that an error is no longer an error. Professor Mrs. or Dr. Mrs. putting Mrs. in parentheses, that's okay. That indicates that you understand that it shouldn't be, and you want to show that you are talking about Mrs., a woman who is married. Sometimes a name may look may be a unisex name that can be used by a man or a woman. In such a situation where people may be doubtful whether this name belongs to a man or belongs to a woman, then it is right to use Mrs. in parentheses. Or Mr.
Thank you very much.
Parentheses. But then at the end of the it should be at the end of the name, not followed by doctor or professor. So you can take it to the end and then you put it in parentheses. Thank you very much. I don't think there's any other place. Then yeah, appreciate. Appreciate is a transitive. Yes, the word appreciate is a transitive verb, and it must be followed by an object. So you must say, I appreciate you, I appreciate them. Under no circumstances must you use appreciate without an object. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll take the last one from Chiameka Vera. Chiameka Vera, please unmute yourself and make it snappy, if that is a correct sentence. Chiameka, please unmute so that we can conclude this particular session. I've asked you to unmute.
I don't think she's there. Her video is not up.
The video is not up.
Try it one more time. Try it one more time.
Okay. I should try one more time? Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Jack Ejembi can go ahead.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor Isi, for your point delivery and very enlightening discussion. I really appreciated it because I got a lot. Yeah. So I just have a little concern when it comes to language in the Nigerian context, especially as regards unity of the Nigerian people. We know that Nigeria is multi-ethnic, and the errors we see in English language might be an indication of difficulty in learning this language, or a sign of rejection of the white man's language. Is subject to investigation, though. So what bothers me sometimes when we talk about language, English language in Nigeria, is the role it plays in unity, in national unity, national cohesion. So what about Pidgin English? What future do we have over Pidgin English? I would really love to have a conversation on this, perhaps in the future, from any expert. Especially as regards unifying Nigerian people so that we can be really one, just like in the really advanced countries. You see that language plays a very key, very serious role in uniting the people, and then they can live more peacefully and continue to develop. So what is the role of Pidgin? Should we discourage Pidgin? Because if you look at the Nigerian people, majority are so familiar with Pidgin. Even BBC has programs now in Pidgin English. There are so many, where we've seen a lot of developments coming up around that Pidgin English. But in academics, we always emphasize the language of the white man. There are those who are even criticizing it as a tool of oppression, a subjugation tool by the white. What do you say, Prof? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The reason for errors in English is because we are learning it as a second language. And so errors are inevitable in such situations. The use of Pidgin is truly informal. We discovered that when we are talking about formal conversation. You can use Pidgin when you are discussing informally with colleagues or other people. But we never encourage Pidgin in a school between teacher and pupils, primary, secondary, tertiary. In a highly formal situation, Pidgin is discouraged because the English language is our official language. It is the language of administration. It is the language of the law court. It is the language that is used as barometer to measure the quality and quantity of education possessed by a speaker. And since we have used it as our official language, it is important that we groom our students in the correct use of this language formally for international intelligibility. Pidgin cannot do in that regard.
Thank you very much, Prof. And I was going to add that the purpose of this presentation and the reason why we pleaded with you and you agreed to speak to us is also as a form of pre-departure for these scholars and fellows. And then the fact that you will be writing your thesis, your dissertation, your papers, your research, your communication in proper English, not pidgin. Although nice question coming from one of us, but at the same time, let's note the significance, the reason, the reason for this particular lecture. I want to thank you, Prof, most sincerely for the presentation, and we really will be calling on you at another date as the AVP for International Affairs, Dr. Astake, mentioned. I will share your PowerPoint with all, and we will continue to benefit from your wisdom. Thank you very much on behalf of Division of International Affairs, on behalf of Morgan State University. We appreciate you. And we thank you and thank you and thank you. Thank you, ma'am. At this point,
I feel honored by this call. Be reassured of my continual response to every call of yours. Thank you very immensely.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you. At this point, we are moving on to the roundtable, which is a follow-up on this lecture, but more importantly, looking at the local and the global context of our global consciousness. We have migrated, whether temporarily or permanently, either temporarily, as it was in the case of when Professor Astake left Ethiopia for the United States in 1988, and then permanently now because he will just visit, once in a while. Or even in my case, permanently and also, still mobile. We want to look at it from the issue of our global consciousness, either in terms of global education, in terms of health. We have COVID-19. We have global situation that has really changed our everyday lives. So we want to also interrogate such issues, from finance to education to learning to IT matters and what have you. So to speak to us each for at least 5 minutes, please keep it to 5 minutes, is, and I'm sorry I have to cut down the number of minutes. I don't want to keep our professors and the head of my division waiting because they have so much to do elsewhere. Just 5 minutes each. To speak to us, we have the following people. Baba Sule is a PhD student and a lecturer at the Federal University, one of the federal universities in Nigeria. Elijah Ipano is a postdoc and a senior lecturer at Benue State University. Adetokunbo Otumo is also a postdoc and a senior lecturer at one of the federal universities. Irene Boro is a lecturer but also a PhD student at Morgan. Rachel Agbono is a postdoc, and Stella Atebridge is a lecturer, I believe, at Yaba College of Technology. I'm sorry if I didn't get the institution right. And a doctoral student. Eberechi Oswago is a doctoral student and a lecturer at one of the universities in Nigeria. So you will go in that order. Please just unmute yourself. When you have just 1 minute, I will tell you, and then you will wrap it up. Thank you very much. So from your perspective, let's listen to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Tijani. From my perspective, when I listened to Professor Joy AC, it reminded me about the importance of global education. TEDFund has been encouraging global education by sponsoring Nigerian academics to enable them to be effective and competitive in today's and tomorrow's global system. Because education needs to respond to the continuously changing global paradigm. This has a tremendous impact on Nigerian academics themselves, their students, the society, and the economy of the country. Global education and learning has multiple benefits. Because one dimension of such benefits is on academic and professional development. In global education, it promotes skills, values, and knowledge that are crucial for academic and professional development. It helps scholars in obtaining a different view of their discipline as it is seen in other countries, so that they can gain a deeper, well-informed understanding of their fields. The entire experience of a global study challenges students and instill confidence in them to think on their toes and utilize skills that had perhaps remained unexplored. Another dimension is socio-emotional. Like global education helps develop self-awareness of one's own identity, culture, belief, and how those connect with the wider world. It helps develop a broader worldview that promote diverse thinking, better communicate across languages and cultures, and build important international connections. So it helps to recognize and think critically about different cultural, economic, and social perspectives. A student, like global student, encounter cultural differences and ideologies that differ from their own. It helps them to be more aware of cultural differences and learn to put oneself in someone else's shoes moving forward, allowing them to more easily create and maintain bonds with others who may be from a background entirely different than their own. It can also be seen as an opportunity to explore the world in a way that will otherwise be unavailable. I'm saying this because as a beneficiary of global education, I did my master's degree in the UK, and I spent almost all my time there with people from different countries with different cultural and language beliefs. As Prof was making her presentation, it reminded me something that happens to me when I was in the UK. We were in the same house with other colleagues from different countries. So there was a time I was trying to talk about paper. So I said, I need a paper to do this. Then a colleague, I was not a Nigerian, he was surprised. He was struggling to understand what I was trying to say. I was saying paper. He was saying, what is paper? I was trying to describe, oh, paper. So before I realized that I was wrong in my pronunciation, that was why he cannot even understand what I was saying. And another colleague who was also from Romania, so he used to tell me that, you see, English is a stupid language because our language is not like this. It is being pronounced as it is written, but English, they will write differently and ask you to say something different. So Language, I think, international or global education can help someone or give opportunity to appreciate other people's culture and beliefs. In fact, to me, it has changed the way I look at the whole world. So as a lecturer in Nigeria, when I go back from my master's then, so most of my students have few opportunities to travel. As a result, I try to bring the world to them as I have participated in global studies. So I try to teach students how to understand perspectives beyond their own cultural perspective so that they can be more tolerant, curious, emphatic, and aware of global issues. To look at the new communication technologies, it has allowed students to connect with global culture, and our education system must prepare students for these new realities, because if they were allowed to rely on informal means of education like the internet, social media, they will lack a comprehensive understanding of global issues. So that's why particularly the TED Fund Executive Secretary, his initiative of having this global education and interrelation, because it can have a huge impact on the society in general. Because with this global education, all these kind of for instance, like in the presentation of Prof earlier, all these kind of errors can be able to understand, because you may not even know that you are committing an error in your thinking. If at all you have never been to the native, or you have never have close interactions with other peoples from another different environments. So actually, I think what can bring or minimize this issue of errors in language, I think global education is one way of minimizing such errors in English, particularly English, because English...
Thank you, Baba Sule.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. This opportunity. The next person, please, that will be Dr. Elijah Upano.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Professor Joy Eisi, for that wonderful presentation. I would like to, first of all, take the lead, but I also studied history, so you may not be expecting that I should not make some errors in this conversation. I'm sorry, I needed to take that excuse. I appreciate the Baba Sule for that decisive background he has given to this conversation. I am looking at a different dimension to this discourse on global education. I wish to look at how, we presently, what Nigeria is doing and what Trefont is doing is to send academics to universities across the globe for global educational interaction. And I wanted to look at how TED Fund could also encourage taking this global education back to Nigeria in terms of engaging Nigerian universities to also host scholars across the globe in Nigeria. And I think with what Morgan has done with TED Fund is possible if we can have Nigerian universities. If we can have Nigerian universities equipped with infrastructure in a way that, like we have at Morgan, scholars, PhD candidates, and postdoc scholars studying here. Once they get back, Morgan can also encourage these TED Fund postdoc or PhD graduates as alumni who will now set up this educational structure in Nigeria. In a way, we will be domesticating this global scholarship in Nigeria. We will not necessarily have to move people from Nigeria to Morgan to be able to benefit in that global interaction. So we can have Morgan in Nigeria, and we can also have other universities across the globe in Nigeria. With that, we'll be integrating this global scholarship in Nigeria, and we'll have students who will benefit from this interaction without necessarily coming to Morgan or going to other universities. If we have the infrastructure set up in Nigerian universities and we have human resource that is already being built with this interaction in this MOU between Morgan and TED Fund, if we can domesticate this MOU from Morgan to TED Fund to individual universities in their areas of need, I think we'll be integrating the entire globe in Nigerian educational system. But that will happen without no challenge. There are also challenges that we also need to look at, like Nigeria in the global context. When you are discussing Nigeria, what somebody looks at is insecurity, terrorism, kidnapping, banditry, and all that. It's not as if we don't have these challenges in other countries. We have these challenges in other countries, but we must also assure global scholars that if you come to Nigeria, you are safe. And Nigerian government should also be integrated in this whole setup so that our campuses will be safe. There will be that confidence that will be given to global scholars and global institutions that will be integrated in this global educational system. Apart from this insecurity, we also have to look at the kind of instability that we have on our campuses. For instance, in fact, I came to Morgan, I've never heard anything about, there's no threat about strike. It happens across the global universities. But you cannot be having global scholars migrating to Nigeria to go and contribute to global scholarship. And then you have instability in the educational system, in the calendar. You start a program today, you are in the middle of the semester and there is strike, you have to shut down the university. These are issues that you really need to address to be able to participate and engage fully in this global scholarship. And I was also trying to ask that if we can have it in other countries, if we can send our scholars to other countries, why can't other countries send their own scholars to Nigeria to completely participate in this global educational system? It's possible, it's doable. I think it is the willpower. It is also like what we have now, having people who are committed, like we have Professor Katani. All of us that are here at Morgan will testify that it was not easy getting to Morgan. But with him, with the willpower, he was able to pull all of us from Nigeria. I'll say pull because he pulled us. Practically, he pulled us, surmounting all the challenges. We must have people that will be involved in this global educational system in Nigeria to be able to make this possible. I think as a people, as a country, looking forward as a country, if we do this, we will not just be building the next generation that will compete globally with other scholars in other countries, but we will also be transforming gradually our educational system to compete with other universities in the globe. When we have university ranking, where we see Nigerian universities is pitiable. If we are able to integrate Nigerian universities in this global educational system, we will also have a situation where one day, who knows, a Nigerian university will rank topmost as one of the best universities in the world. So I think these are just my perspectives that I wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As you were speaking, and now you're talking about pull and making it happen, the behind the scene or the back end have actually facilitated this, apart from the people that I've mentioned in the, over an hour that we started, join us. And today he is the Senior Vice President and Provost of the National Treasure, Morgan State University. I'm talking of Professor Hunter Yu, who has just joined us. I announced over an hour ago that he would be with us if we are still home at 11. And he fulfilled just like he did throughout with the president yesterday. I'm saying behind the scene because when we initially started, myself and Dr. Astake, I have to give this context for us to understand. It was the then Dean Yu. I say the then, he was a Dean of College of Sciences then, that accommodated and allowed us to even use his boardroom and join us and discuss with us how we can forge ahead. So it is not just Tijani for those who do not know. But we are also celebrating the then Dean Yu, who is now Provost Yu, and the first Asian American to be a senior vice president and provost, equivalence of your vice chancellor, if not even above, being with us today. We celebrate you, sir. I think Dr. Astake may want to do proper introduction, and then we allow Provost Yu to speak to us. We appreciate you, sir. Dr. Astake. Is Dr. Astake still with us? Okay, maybe because we started a multi session this hour, so maybe he's also with the study abroad. Yeah. Oh, he's still here?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, maybe he's talking to those people, so he will. We just wait for a few minutes. I want him to say one or two things about Provost Yu, and then the Provost will speak with us, and he can still take his lead.
We can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
It's like he's having a challenge. You may unmute him.
Okay, he's calling me now. Dr. Astake. Oh, okay, sir. So sorry. Sorry, let's unmute you. I'm sorry. We asked you to unmute now, sir.
All right, now I can talk. Okay, sorry.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry about that.
No problem. I hope the provost can also unmute when he's ready to speak. Can you make sure he can?
Okay, let me just go ahead and do that.
Yes, very good. So yeah, Dr. Tijani, great. Provost Yu, again, another amazing workshop we're having. We at one time had more than 130 participants from all over Nigeria. We're having a great discussion, so we really appreciate your support for International Education Week. I know that you are an international scholar, so I wanted you to say a few words of remarks to our colleagues. And this program is actually being broadcast on Nigerian TV. Isn't that right, Dr. Tijani?
Yes, sir.
So this program, not only are we having a Morgan conference call, but this is also being broadcast all over Nigeria on Nigerian TV. So we're excited to have you. Please go ahead and say a few words to us, Dr. Provost Yu.
Thank you very much, Dr. Astake, Dr. Tijani, all the good friends from Nigeria. So either on this panel or on TV, I really bring you greetings from the National Treasure, Morgan State University. On behalf of President David Wilson, I really welcome everyone for these International Education Week events. So I know that our Office of International Programs have done a great job to put together this week-long event, including this one. So I just want to thank the Nigerian government and all the people from Nigeria that you choose Morgan State to work with. We don't want disappointing. We will not disappoint you. So we'll make sure you can get the best service you got to get a group of highly qualified faculty members distributed among your universities. Morgan State University, we have faculty members who are fellows of their professional society. We have the fellows, the American Physical Society. We have 2 fellows from the American Association for the Advancement of Science. And we have the fellow from the American Mathematical Society. And we have quite a few scientists who are in the top 2% of the scientists in the world. So we are hosting your PhD students and your postdocs. So we have these outstanding faculty members to tutor them, to guide them, to get them prepared for them to contributing to the advancement of your universities throughout Nigeria. So we know Nigeria has been a great country in Africa. So you are really one of the leading countries in Africa. So we want to see you continue to thrive, to continue to advance, to play more significant roles in the world. Thank you very much, everyone, for allowing me to kind of come in the middle to speak a few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You deserve it, because when we initially started, you were the only thing that allowed us to come. You brought us all together. If you don't remember, I remember. And then in that, we spent more than almost 2 hours. And then you are the dean that has accepted more TED-fund PhDs and even postdoc into Morgan. It is this man, so he deserves a clap. And I think my boss is nodding his head. You know, all of you should just clap for him. Those of you that just got admission just like that, without it ending, you and now Provost you is doing much more for us. And, you know, he just deserves to be acknowledged. Thank you, sir. So the next speaker is Dr. Adetokunbo. And then please, Mr. Greenwich, Siron, you will speak when the last speaker speaks, to share with us the virtual learning education platform. It's important they know about this also, because we have with us people that are holding strategic positions, just like the guest lecturer is a former deputy vice chancellor, a professor of English, and also currently the director of CWES, that is a student internship work something, you know. So we have so many of them. I can see Dr. Aneto, the director of the Center of Excellence in Migration and Global Studies also, and a few other former colleagues. So Dr. Adetokunbo, please, you have 3 minutes. Just share with us your perspective. Do we have to unmute you? Okay, I'm asking you to unmute.
Thank you so very much, Prof. Thank you, Professor George, for a wonderful presentation. I learned so much from that. I hope some of my discussion will not have 1 or 2 errors too. I know you are there to correct us. You know, we are all learning. We are seriously learning. Thank you, Prof. Prof has always told us, Professor Tijani, thank you so much for this platform. I'm very grateful. You know, Prof has always said you are professor specific, not professor general. So my discussion is also going to be specific and not general. I'm going to title my talk on global education, my experience so far. That's going to be my presentation this morning. I'm actually looking at my journey so far in Morgan State University, Baltimore, USA. This is my experience so far, from the research mentorship down to relationship with the research mentor, to access to information, environment, and laboratories. I'm going to start from the first one, research mentorship. It is quite amazing to see how your professors, your supervisors, how they can team up with you or how you can team up with them for global partnership in terms of research. How wonderful they could bring you near as if they are younger ones or as if you are their brothers or sisters in order to carry out your research. I remember when I just came to America, probably the first or second day, my laptop had issues with my laptop. And immediately I told my mentor, Professor Rackman. He said, no problem. The next day he called me, he gave me a brand new laptop to carry out my research work to the entirety of the program. It's quite amazing how people could have such a big mind to do things. Very big mind. Again, in terms of knowledge base, it's kind of amazing how people could be very, very, very knowledgeable in their areas of research. And they are not shy to carry out research. Even if they don't know that thing, they are so open and they will tell you that, oh, please, I don't know this, I don't know how this is applicable in your area in Nigeria and all that. You can please find out or relate with colleagues in Nigeria. There is no shame on all that. They are so plain in the way they handle their things. It's kind of amazing. In terms of relationship with your mentor or host, it's very, very amazing how they could take you around to one or two things, how you can walk up to them freely to discuss your mind. They give you an appointment or you meet. I do have a meeting with my host or mentor Mondays and Wednesdays. They tell me, oh, I'll be in the office by 1 to 4 o'clock. Believe you me, 1 o'clock on the dot is in the office waiting for you. He's right there waiting for you to attend to you. Whatever he's going to say, he listens to you. It's kind of amazing. The next one is access to information. This is my experience so far. Like in Morgan State University, they do a lot of hybrid learning where they do both online and physical presence in their classrooms. The online, they use what they call Canvas, learning management application, combining with their physical presence. And it's kind of amazing experience for the students and even me here on the postdoc. Is it internet access? The internet access is spread wide the campus, from the admin blocks to my office to our blocks. You can log in with just one login credentials and you are up and go. You start to browse. There's no delay in time. The virtual libraries is amazing also. You can download a lot of books, materials from their virtual library and all that. For me, like just yesterday, he sent me a link to their virtual library. Just yesterday. They have sent me over 10 books from their library and all that. You even have access to what we call Google Colab for our experiment using a Google Cloud. And also their conventional physical library have a lot of stuff there. It's very, very amazing. What about the environment? We have very conducive environment for learning. Beautiful, beautiful structures. It is kind of mind-blowing also. I've never seen a university that is this beautiful. When I mean beautiful, very beautiful as Morgan State University. I must commend them for that. Their laboratories, when you talk about their laboratories, it is second to none. Even from the physical sciences to the biological sciences, I interacted with some of my colleagues, even in chemistry. I went to their labs and all that. They too can also testify. They have a lot of things in their laboratories that will definitely blow your mind down. Even the human physiology or human dietetics and all that. They have wonderful things in their laboratories. I must confess that. And finally, I must say that it is very amazing that how certain people and races will have special ideology and culture for their mentors, for their mentees. How certain people, they just have special interest for their mentees. It's very, very amazing. I give kudos to them, I doff my cap to them. And one thing I would love at the end of this program, if Morgan State University can also do certain things for us to take back home. Possibly I'm working in the research. If they can also like give us back, like helping in funding our labs and all that, so that more people can also be in Nigeria in our universities to carry out certain research work right there in Nigeria. and if we can also do a lot of collaboration. I want to end my discussion here. I'm indeed very grateful to my home university, Federal University of Technology, Owerri. I'm also grateful to Tech Fund Nigeria for giving us this opportunity, full sponsorship here in Morgan State University, and finally to Morgan State University for accepting us. Prof, I'm going to end there. Thank you so very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Adepokunbo. Next is Mrs. Irene Olonunishola to speak to us. You have 3 minutes, and I'm sure Dr. Starkey will respond to some of the comment made by Dr. Tumu and Dr. Elijah earlier on, and then Mr. Siran also. Irene, you have 3 minutes?
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm having issues with my network. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good, okay. I couldn't hear the last speaker at all because I was battling with the network. It's raining heavily here.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody, and good morning for those in the US. First of all, I think that I have to start by saying that it's a great privilege to be afforded this opportunity by Tech Fund to study here. Now, one of the things that I have learned, like Baba said, I also had studied for my master in UK, so I've had a little bit of experience, but then it's quite different because I think because we're colonized by the British, we do things the way they do in Britain, but it's a bit different in the US. I haven't yet moved to the US, I'm still in Nigeria, but even from the lectures alone, from the interaction with the professors, there have been a few cultural shocks that I have experienced. First of all, the ability to speak your mind whenever, however, to your professor, of course, respectfully, is a new concept. I remember for one of the classes that we had with Dr. Pan, and those of us who were Nigerians kept doing a lot of ma, and then she had to come back to tell us, yes, I grew up in Nigeria and I understand how things are there, but it's a little bit different here. You don't need to do all of this. And then we were a bit scared to ask questions. And then she pushed us and said, see, listen, like I said, I have Nigerian experience, but here it's quite different. Here, as long as everybody is respectful, you have the right to ask whatever questions you have. No question is considered stupid, no question is considered silly. Now, as a lecturer, that's a very good lesson to keep. Having that understanding that you should get to that point where your students can approach you freely, speak with you freely, express themselves. If they're having difficulties understanding a particular aspect, when we were asked to grade our courses, in Nigeria, when you're asked to grade your lecturer, you want to grade your lecturer very well, even if you think the lecturer hasn't done well, because you're scared of repercussions. But then that's quite different here. You know that you're allowed to speak your mind. And if you express yourself and say, oh, I've had difficulties in this class because I don't understand this and I don't understand this, the lecturer takes that as a correction, not as an attack. And then they come back and try to do better for you and try to help you understand better, try to help you grow better. It's been different. That's one thing I'm going to say. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. My confidence has increased. Before now, I don't think I'd be able to speak this way, boldly in front of Professor Isi. Professor Isi is my madam. She's my oga, someone who I look up to so much. And, when it comes to English language, forget it. You can't go to her and speak anyhow. Before you approach Professor Isi to say anything, you think about it. Okay, when I say it this way, okay, any mistakes, but then coming here has really helped my confidence. I now know that it's all right to make a few mistakes. It's all right to not get it right the first time. There are many other opportunities for you to get it right. There is an opportunity for you to grow. And as lecturers who have been sponsored by TechFund, I think that's one key thing to pick when we get back to Nigeria. You have to let your students understand that it is all right not to get it right immediately. It is all right to still be growing. It is all right to not catch up as fast as your other colleagues are catching. It's been amazing, honestly. I don't think that without the support of TechFund, a number of us might have struggled with studying at Morgan State University. Seeing as $1 is now 500 and something naira. Imagine as a lecturer gathering all that money for tuition. It's going to be a lot. So first of all, I really have to appreciate the opportunity and appreciate MOU that brought about this coming together. Another thing that I have learned that I think will really help our students is the fact that, like I said, because things are done differently, you understand that it doesn't have to be one certain way. There are different ways to get to the final point. You don't have to take one path. You can go through the left, you can go through the right. The most important thing is that you remain ethical in all that you're doing. It's also the way of teaching here is also different. You would assume that we're PhD students, we would just go straight into business and then they'll start telling us a lot of things. But then one thing Morgan has done is to understand that a number of us have been out of, when I say education environment, I don't mean like, yes, we're lecturers, so we're there, but we haven't been students ourselves for a long time. So it's been taking, well, it would have taken a lot to catch up. Morgan puts that into consideration, and for all of our lectures, at least for this first semester, we've all been taken back to the basics. And that has been good because it has refreshed our memory, and then for things that we never even learned before, we have now learned, so that it prepares us to do better. That's also something that I think that as lecturers we must incorporate. No matter what course you're taking, no matter the level, I think that it's important to take a day or two or a week to just go through the basics with your students. So this whole global learning thing has really changed my mentality. I now know how schooling is in Nigeria. I know how schooling is because my first degree was in Nigeria, my second, my master's the UK, and then now my PhD in the US. So I now know that things are a bit different. Now, if you bring all that together, what we're doing as Nigerians is that we're producing very culturally rich lecturers. We're producing lecturers that are sound all round, lecturers that can stand up to their peers worldwide. And that also goes back to what one of my colleagues said about having Nigeria universities also being ranked and being amongst the top ranked universities in the world. This is one way to achieve that. You have lecturers who are learning these things. You have lecturers from Nigeria who are being shipped up to learn these things, to do better, to know better. And then you bring them back into the country and then you use them to develop the educational sector. You use them to build up what we're offering to our students. That's the step that's one of the steps that we need to take to push us to that level where we're also able to compete with universities worldwide and also be placed on the ranking list as a high-ranking institution or a country that has a number of high-ranking institutions.
Thank you very much.
It's been good. It's been really good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I would like to thank. I was told that Professor Tor Urakwo, the Vice Chancellor of Benue State University, joined us, but I think he joined with a name or somebody signing. I didn't know. But so if the VC of Benue State is still with us, please just signify, or whoever sign in using any of those other names that are not here, to please just alert us so that he can say a word, and then the provost and the AVP can say hello to him. So the next speaker, we will have Eberechi to speak next, and then Atebridge will speak last. Eberechi, are you there? Okay, you are on.
Yes, Professor.
Please, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Professor, for giving me this platform and giving all of us the opportunity to make our contribution. I am so glad, and thank you, Professor Yis, for that wonderful presentation. Yeah, my perspective from this whole global learning is coming from my 3 months experience at Morgan, visually. I call it unlocking potential. All right? Yeah, I have experienced, in fact, within just 3 months, I'm so much amazed with myself, and knowing the fact that I could be exposed to such a situation, I thank Morgan for giving me this opportunity, really. Yeah, first of all, in terms of discipline, yeah, when we hear it about in Western world, you don't take time, for granted. Whatever you do, you stick to time, you stick to your principles and all that. Actually, you can't, especially in bioenvironmental sciences, you can't skip time. You don't do it. Whatever thing you do, even submission of assignment, there's due time for it. It's shaping us up, really, so that even though we find ourselves, maybe our colleagues, our students, or in wherever we find ourselves, accommodating that situation of not missing up with time, we shouldn't. Morgan will teach you not to. You don't accommodate it. You leave it up. You leave out that, knowing that this is what I need to do. I need to, fall in line with others, right? And that's one thing I appreciate with them. In their teaching method, actually, it's so amazing. This is my first time of coming in contact with what they call Canvas. I don't know what it is. I've not met it before. But I tell you, I love Nigerians, really. I was speaking with my colleagues last night, about this issue. I told them I love Nigerians and I have my reason, not just because I'm here or I'm from here, no, but because we have this ability. We are just potentials. We have this ability to catch up, to meet up. We don't know what Canvas is all about, most of us that I know and I interview, but we could be able to fit in. We could be able to understand. Morgan made it so easy. They give you that time, they give you that space, they give you that opportunity to interact with them. So when they showed us, we're able to pick up as easy as that, right? The technology, yeah, I appreciate it. In fact, one of the things, this global learning and global education is just the key. It's just the key that needs to unlock potential, irrespective of where you're coming from. Africa, Asia, Middle East, whatever. It's just the key to bring people together because it will develop your skills. It will develop your mental ability. It will show you who you really are, and you will go beyond your strength comfortably at that. Right? The technology is wonderful. I appreciate that with Morgan, and I'm so happy I'm part of it. Right? The engagement in class. Wow. I don't know what to say about that because we find out that it's a little bit different from what we have here. Seriously. Morgan will let you know that it's not about the grade. It's not about just to school and going out with the certificate. No, it's about getting to know the knowledge, being part of that knowledge. Teachers are so nice. They will engage you. If you don't get it, they'll keep repeating over and over again. They give you time to try and try and try. In fact, I have an example. There's one city program we did under ethical research conduct. You find out that after reading and you want to do your piece, you have attempts. You have multiple times to attempt it. It means they just want you to know it. They just want you to grab the knowledge. It's not about what your grades are, what you're supposed to. You're going home with a certificate without knowing what you did. No, it's about getting to know it. So the engagement in the class makes us more comfortable. It's a participatory class that you can contribute. It's a two-way communication start, right? It's an interactive section. You have that choice to they engage us. You say your mind. They'll put you right if you're wrong or improve in what you know. So that is one thing I love most about modern teaching method. It is so beautiful. In fact, within 3 months, I've tried to practice that in my classes here. My students are here, my colleagues are here. In fact, I had a class earlier today. I was telling them, you should not be afraid of failing. Trying and failing means you have the ability to survive. You have the ability to know it, right? Just like sitting down is worse than sitting down not talking or thinking that you know it without knowing that you might not know it, or you know it in the wrong way, or you need to get improved on what you know. So I encourage them, speak up. It's a participatory class. It is an engaged class, so you can sit up and say, this is what I think, this is my thought, in your own language. It mustn't be that sophisticated for you to be able to participate or engage yourself in such classroom activities. So I encourage them. And what does that tell us? It's because Morgan has done this to me. Because they will tell you, Professor Homer will say, speak. Or whatever what you want to say. You know, we look at it this way, that way, this is right, and this is wrong. And she always let us know that she improves in her knowledge as well by engaging with us. So it's not about the way pecking order, the way we see it in Nigeria, like it must be that professor thing, the student thing, the young lecturer thing. No, it is telling us that we should, no matter the, accommodate the young ones, accommodate them, give them that comfortability so that they can be able to speak up, so that you have the ability as the mentor to direct them well. Yeah, and in doing so, it's a beautiful thing. And I know when we are coming back fully packaged, because if we can get this in 3 months, I wonder what 4 years or 3 years will be. Seriously. And another aspect I want to talk about is this. I am so much grateful for Tetron, for this MOU, right, and what they are doing. Because to me, this is key. Global learning is the key to stabilize the world. You understand? Because people get to interact both socio-cultural level, socio-economic level. You get to know other people. They'll come to appreciate you. You have the opportunity to showcase who you are, the cultural values you come with, and know the ones you need to drop. Your misconceptions, you need to change them. They also appreciate you because, in Morgan, even visually, we interact with our students from other places, not even US, from India and all the rest of them. And you see that perspective, people get to learn from each other. And what best could brighten or make this world a sustainable place is education. And I love Tetron for bringing this initiative. And I love Morgan for giving us this opportunity to be partakers of this beautiful situation. I am so grateful. And to Professor Tijani, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Oswadu. Next is, and the last speaker is Mrs. Patricia Atterbridge. Ms. Patricia, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead, please. Is she there? She's not there?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
You can see that you are also. Are you in class?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I really want to thank Professor and all the other speakers. Without taking much of your time, I want us to note that this global education and learning opportunity is the one we will not forget in a hurry. I really want to thank Professor Tijani and others, Professor Asake and all others that have made it possible for us to be partakers of this MOU. Thank you, all the speakers. But there is a point I really want us to note. It has to do with this MOU being a drive for developing the economy of Nigeria. Nigeria as a developing economy is being faced with many strategic priorities, which we know. And top on the list is education. I don't know the health fund representative here, if you can assist us to relay this message to Professor Bogoro, that we should please include education as a faculty to be continued to be sponsored abroad. Because I want to say that it is the pathway to achieving entrepreneurial and innovative pathway in terms of international higher education is through international scholarship award, such as this. So we appreciate your laudable and giant strength. And then this your policy of not including education as part of international sponsorship. I see it as not considering the mother or the mother that lays the golden egg, which is education. So please, I'm appealing, even though I didn't read education, I'm enjoying my lectures at Modern. I don't even know where to start from. It's like a dream come true for me. I've been applying since as far back as 1994 to gain foreign sponsorship because I really wish to be a global scholar. I just don't want certificate. I really want to know what I'm doing. I have 2 masters, but I tell you, if I go for foreign, local, and international conferences, I see myself as if I have not arrived. I was in US 2019 for a conference, but I couldn't say anything. I was just seated there. But I want to tell you, these 3 months of lecture, I can face any audience, I can face any crowd, and I say thank you to Mother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to all the teams.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate all of you. And again, I've learned
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
The easy accessibility to faculty members is unimaginable. They are ever there waiting for you to speak. They really want to know what is disturbing you. They are just there to guide you. And they are there, they teach you as if they are joking, especially for Powell. You see him as if he's playing, but he's taking you to a planet that you don't even understand. Sometimes I wonder, all these things for me to learn, and all the things I learned in that class, as people taught other PhD students in Nigeria that are my friends, they are now presenters. I don't see during the defense, we see people that antagonize and criticize our work as if they are not good. But from what I've learned at Mother now, I really need this criticism. I see it as feedback. I'm looking forward to people looking at my work and criticizing it constructively. I don't see any qualms about it. I don't see any negativity in people trying to correct me anymore. And I really want to thank God for this opportunity. And then, looking at through it all, I want to say this is a blessing from God. And all the people that have made this blessing to come through, I say God bless all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This canvas,
Thank you.
they give us attempt. We will be attempting until we are getting it right. And I want to say I'm a better person now, academically. Kudos
Thank
to
you very
everybody
much.
that have made it possible. I say thank you
Yes.
and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Go ahead and mute yourself so that all those transporters in the Yaba that are distracting will not continue to. Well, at this point, I thank all of you so much. I don't think the VC of Benue State is with us, so I will yield to my colleague, Mr. Steron, the Director of Virtual Learning, to say a few words. And then Dr. Astake will round it up for us. Mr. Steron, are you still with us?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tijani, and thank you everybody in Nigeria and who are from all around the world listening and viewing us today on television and online. And this is just a great opportunity for us. My name is Saran Greenwich. I am the Global and Cross-Cultural Program Director in the Division of International Affairs, and I'm helping to direct this wonderful week of the International Education Week 2021 at Morgan State University and around the world, because we have great technologies to do this. And so one of the areas that I enjoy bringing along is something called COIL, C-O-I-L. And that acronym is for Collaborative Online International Learning. So some of you, students, scholars, faculty, staff, have already participated possibly in something like COIL, but we're looking to expand it. So I know that some of you, as Dr. Tijani has mentioned, are in prominent positions to bring two institutions together to work collaboratively to bring cultural exchanges and opportunities to one another. So COIL is an approach that brings students and professors together across cultures to learn and discuss and collaborate as a part of their class. Professors partner to design an experience for students to partner to complete the activities designed. We use the COIL term to refer to virtual mobility, virtual exchange that are embedded into the formal curriculum and provide students with an opportunity to interact with peers at international universities and professionals so that they can develop international competencies and digital skills while working together on specific subject learning tasks or activities. So for an example, in some of the courses that you may have during your time at Morgan or possibly with another institution, you as a student and scholar will be paired with another institution or a faculty member with another institution to create interdisciplinary opportunities to collaborate on a global scale, which allows international students to work with domestic students, depending on where you're located, right? And so what that does is that brings that exposure to learning new technologies, systems, operations, as many of you have mentioned today. There's so many different learning opportunities that you can learn just by being part of a virtual mobility, virtual exchange, a COIL programming. So if you're interested in wanting to have this opportunity in your own classroom, or even if you're a student or scholars participating as a student in the classroom, you can actually talk with your professors and ask them, hey, have you heard of COIL? Have you heard of Collaborative Online International Learning? Because although for our Nigerian students who are local right now in Baltimore, you can still have another global experience. You can be partnered with Turkey, you can be partnered with, Venezuela, you can be partnered with so many other different opportunities. And so this is one of the huge initiatives that Morgan State University has as one of their internationalization goals. And so we would love you to contact us. You can also contact Dr. Tijani, and we can move forward and have more conversations about COIL and how we can even broaden your experience, not only here at Morgan State University, but we can expand it to other regions of the world as well. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you, Dr. Tijani and Dr. Staki, for providing these opportunities. Thank you, scholars and students and faculty and staff. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dr. Staki, you want to round it up for us so that we can take our lead?
Dr. Tijani, once again, I really enjoyed this session. I'm so glad I didn't miss it. I learned so much from the presenters, but also I'm looking forward to meeting our new cohort in person when they join us either in spring 2022 or fall 2022. I've heard from so many amazing candidates from Nigeria. All of you have years and years of experience. Some of you say you have 2 master's degrees, etc. But you guys bring so much information and knowledge that although you're coming to the US to learn and get your PhD, you will be teaching us so many amazing things that we will never ever learn if it wasn't for you guys. I'm sorry, I'm using the term you guys, ladies and gentlemen, by joining us at Morgan. So I'm excited to welcome you to our campus, and we will have a nice session once all of you are on campus. But this International Education Week is a great opportunity for us to do collaboration. In addition, I hope that you listen carefully to Saran's message that we are Morgan now are expanding our virtual exchange in what we call COIL. A lot of you are lecturers in Nigeria. You are teaching in amazing universities. Why don't we use this opportunity to create a partnership between your students, our students, but also students from other countries, so that when you have this 2 or 3 university collaboration COIL, then our students will benefit by learning alongside your students in Nigeria, but also other international students from other countries. So I hope that using your network in Nigeria, you will connect us and we will be able to create new virtual exchange activities for your students. And also you as a faculty member and as a lecturer, that's one of the things that you will be required to do going forward. One thing that COVID has taught us is lecturing in the classroom is a thing of the past. Going forward, you will be required to do lecturing virtually, like we're doing right now, but also you also will be required to do virtual collaboration with other professors from around the world, and also allow your students to have a global experience. So when you come to Morgan, not only are you going to be here to just get a PhD in a certain area, you also are getting trained to become a truly global leader, so that the students that you're going to mentor and help in the future after you return to Nigeria, you will get a global experience. Because when you return, you will have made a bond that will last forever. And that bond will be a bond with your colleagues at Morgan, but also what you've learned at Morgan will allow you to expand your reach. And so that's why I really wanted to talk seriously with Saran. He's an amazing person. So this week is excellent. So Saran, an excellent week.
From the 12 you have.
And the rest of you, enjoy the rest of the semester. I know that those of you are in the PhD program, this is crunch time for you. You have to get ready for your final exams. And so we wish you the best of luck. And those of you who are in Nigeria, we cannot wait to welcome you at Morgan in Baltimore, so that you can get immersed in the cultural experience in addition to pursuing your doctorate. So once again, we want to thank TED Fund and the leaders of TED Fund, especially the ES Professor Bogoro and our President Wilson, for having this vision to create this partnership. TED Fund could have signed this partnership with so many other universities in America, but they chose Morgan. And we want to say the same way you appreciate us, we appreciate you. And as an African from Ethiopia, I'm very jealous that so many Nigerians are coming to get an amazing education. So it looks like Nigeria for the next 10 to 10 years will be leading Africa in special education, because you have so many amazing doctoral fellows who would come to America, get an amazing education, and return and become the future vice chancellors, maybe the future ministers of education. And maybe one of you will be the next president of Nigeria, and make sure you invite me when you become president, okay? Don't forget now. Remember that I helped you. Dr. Tijani and I should have free airfare. Isn't that Dr. Tijani? If they become president of Nigeria,
yes, sir.
For their inauguration, don't forget us, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
thank you very much.
And on a fun note, so thank you so much. This is an amazing experience. I wish the rest of the colleagues a great afternoon, and we're here to support you. Dr. Tijani is here. Oh, by the way, Dr. Tijani, I want to also tell the TED Fund postdocs, we will be hiring a full-time person. Dr. Tijani has done an extraordinary job. He was doing the job of 3 people right now. And I try to help him too. Very, very hardworking person. And so now thanks to his excellent work, we're going to be hiring another full-time person who will be, that person's full-time position is to assist the TED Fund scholars, the TED Fund postdocs, but also, thanks to TED Fund, we're also going to help other international students. So this is excellent. So we're going to have one more person who will be there to respond to your email, to your phone calls, to your concerns, because Dr. Tijani travels a lot. I travel even more than him. I travel every 8 weeks. I'm gone for 1 month. So actually, every other month, I'm somewhere around the world. So, and now this person will take care of you. But I want to tell you that we're here to support you. So we really appreciate, and congratulations for being selected to this amazing program, and you guys are making history, and I cannot wait. And maybe in 10 years, after you have settled back to your university in Nigeria, we will come and visit you to see how you're doing, how well you're doing, to strengthen the partnership.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Tijani. Enjoy the rest of
Thank you, Dr. Astake.
Yes.
Let me end by saying thank you to Dr. Astake for an outstanding leadership, and on behalf of the postdoc fellows for providing transportation. This man provided transportation Monday through Friday from their current residences to campus in the morning twice in the evening. It's so outstanding. He chose not to wait for any. So we thank you, sir, for approving that, and they all are enjoying it now. They don't have to ride the bus for hours and hours, get off, do this and that. So we really appreciate you for going that extra mile for them. I'm using this opportunity also to thank my colleague, sister, Professor Joy Eyisi, former Deputy Vice Chancellor, National Open University, and currently the Director of CWES, that is the Student Internship Program, Work Study Program, and also to remind the Vice Chancellor, you are yet to sign that MOU. You are yet to sign the MOU. I know you pushed it when you were at DVC. It's yet to be signed, and the former VC was shocked when we got to know. So the current VC, Professor Peters, who asked me to call him tomorrow morning. So please, Prof, remind him, and let's get this going. So beyond, TED Fund, you have assets, for instance, the artificial intelligence, all these new doctoral programs, we can partner. You had my colleague, Mr. Grinick, and how we can also assist and do a win-win situation. I thank you all for staying this long. It's been more than 2 hours. We appreciate you. We thank the Senior Vice President and Provost, you. We thank Dr. Astake, our AVP, International Affairs. And for all of you, I say Godspeed. Thank you. To AD4 TV Radio, Dr. Alada and his crew, we thank you very much, sir, for not just representing TV Radio ADT4 in Abuja, but also representing Professor Bogoro as Provost, you represented the president. We'll continue to celebrate all our leaders. Thank you very much, and God bless. So you join us for other programs in the week. We're looking forward to more attendance. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.